Hello, welcome back. My name is Paper and today we'll be looking at the GMMK Pro. Oh, you like that new intro? Totally didn't copy it from anywhere. Before we start, I'd just like to say thank you so much for hitting our first milestone of 69 subs. Say it with me. Sheesh! As you can tell, I play way too much Valorant, but for real, I really appreciate the growth in this channel and for you guys supporting me. But let's get back to the GMMK Pro. So I sent in my order on November 11th and I received it April 10th, and here's what I ordered. I got the GMMK Pro. I chose the white ice version, polycarbonate plate, golden rotary knob, white and the olive green GPBT Keycaps, a carrying case, a switch opener, and their lube station. This was all bought with my money, so I appreciate it. If you drop a sub and a like, gonna help me out a lot, thank you. Right off the bat, my first impressions were pretty positive, as I really liked the packaging. I purchased like many other things in the past from Glorious, and their packaging has always been pretty good. A good scale for me when it comes to packaging is that you need to balance out aesthetic, protection of the product, and their overall unboxing experience without being too wasteful. For me, Glorious packaging is pretty solid, except for the fact that the containers for these keycaps were really hard to open for my monkey brain for some reason. They're just so tightly sealed. With that, I guess I'll start with the keycaps. These are the new GPBT Keycaps, which is literally PBT Keycaps, but you know, Glorious just branded it with an extra G, just like they did with their glorious holy pandas. These keycaps are die sub with an ANSI layout and comes in black, white, nebula, olive, pastel, rainforest, and Caribbean Ocean. I only bought the white and olive one since each keycap set costs about $50. Personally, I think it's a little pricey, but it does include the 1.25U right shift that you kind of need for the GMMK Pro. And you know, most keycap sets don't have that. One thing I'll note is that I find the grading on these keycaps kind of weird, especially the lines where they transitioned into the next color. A good grading keycap set, in my opinion, is this NPKC Sunset Blue that you can just get off of Amazon. But again, it doesn't have the 1.25U right shift. Let's move on to the switch opener and the lube station. The switch opener is compatible with Cherry, Gatoron, Kale, and box switches. Overall, it's a decent switch opener. Much better than some of the ones I've had in the past, and the hard plastic is really durable. It's alright, nothing really notable to write home about. Now with the lube station, I have mixed feelings about it. It's a really solid lube station that holds 30 switches at a time, including the housing, the stems, and the springs. It's made out of acrylic, and it's actually really solid. It supposedly has fingerprint resistance, but yeah, that's cap. Definitely not resistant to my sweat and oil. You can see it smeared everywhere. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that all the accessory slots are meant to fit products from Glorious. For example, the switch opener slot is meant to fit the Glorious switch opener, and the lube slot was meant to fit the G lube container. Overall, it's a smart move on Glorious's end to make more money, but it's not practical for us, the consumer, and it's not truly compatible with other products. I'll save the best for last and move on to the carrying case. It's really solid and sturdy. The material is also very nice, but I don't know exactly what it's called. And it has a nice big ingrained Glorious on the case as well. One thing I don't like about this case is the handle strap. I understand it's supposed to be flush and compact, but my hands, which are like medium-sized hands, can barely get under it. I wish the strap wasn't as tight as it is. Now, when I first opened up the case, personally what caught my attention is this extra compartment to store maybe like your cold cable or something extra you need up there, but usually these pockets are closed with zippers. But I really like what Glorious did here by using these stretchy bands, which makes it easier to get in and out of. Great touch. Now when you place your keyboard inside the case, it's truly a tight snug on the keyboard. You have to perfectly place your keyboard in. You can't even place your keyboard in at an angle. And then you got two Velcro straps for extra security. Overall, really nice job in the case. Alright, here we go, the GMMK Pro. Hey, that rhymed. This keyboard is a 75% hot swap that is gasket mounted, and it has a rotary knob. I purchased the white ice version, but the color is more similar to like a chrome or a silvery color. My first impression of pulling it out of the box is, geez, this is heavy. And it's super dense. This is my first ever 75% and my first ever freaking brick I bought. It's made out of aluminum, and the CNC machining job was pretty good. It's done pretty well. I do have a complaint, as when I opened up the keyboard, a lot of the aluminum chips fell on all over my desk mat. They might need to clean that out a bit more. Now, one of the key features of this keyboard is the rotary knob. It comes with the same color rotary knob as the color of the board you bought, but I purchased an extra golden one because, you know, The rotary knob is super useful for multimedia purposes, but it's really annoying when you're trying to disassemble your keyboard. For me, it was really annoying trying to unscrew the goat stabilizers, as the rotary knob made the PCB super unbalanced. As for these new goat stabilizers, I'm not an expert on stabilizers, but I'm pretty sure these are not the greatest of all time. I mean, sure, they're pretty good screw-in stabs, better than some other stock ones. And this is just my observation, but I think Glorious might have been trying to go for that Durock look, I guess. I don't know. I mean, just like they did with the, you know, Rama switch pullers. Looking oddly similar. Now, this keyboard is a Barebones kit, meaning that you have to supply your own switches and keycaps. So I decided to put in some Glorious Holy Pandas, which I had laying around. I thought it seemed fitting to have an all Glorious product keyboard. Took me a while, but I lubed the housing and the stems with Tribox 3203, and then I bag lubed the springs with Krytox GPL 105 oil for all 80 some switches. This is one of the pains of this hobby. For the stabs, I removed the screw-in goat stabilizers with the PCB, and I had to remove the factory lube since it was kind of uneven. But it took so long to remove the lube. Yeah, I'm not even gonna show it. Just imagine me over the sink with a toothbrush, brushing vigorously. Pause. Next, I wholly modded the stabs and relubed them with Krytox 205 grade 0. And for the wires, I'm going to use dielectric grease. Next, I swapped out the aluminum plate for the extra polycarbonate plate that I bought. Okay, quick tip. Do remember to use the screws that come with the polycarbonate plate. Those are not extra screws. It's weird, but each plate has their own screws. Keep that in mind. And here's a quick sound test. In my opinion, the keyboard that is most similar to the GMMK Pro that I can think of the top of my head would be the KBD 75. Kinda, not really. Now, is it worth it? Should I buy it? It's decent. If you're looking for a Barebones kit, would I recommend this to you? Probably not. If you're looking specifically for a Barebones kit that's 75%, then yes, I would probably recommend this because it comes with features such as the rotary knob, it's hot swap, and it's cheaper than most 75%. I feel as though some of the accessories are kind of overpriced, but overall the quality it's pretty good. Glorious is really trying to be the new Apple by making you buy into their, you know, glorious economy. Prime example of this is the Lube station, like I already said. If you're looking into a Barebones kit, I would highly suggest you look into the NK65 or the KBD 67 Lite. Both kits are roughly around $100. One thing that the GMMK Pro will have over these keyboards is that it's supposedly gonna be in stock all the time, but I'm just saying that if this is your first keyboard, I don't recommend this because, well, we're cheaper alternatives, but I ain't gonna stop you. It's a decent keyboard. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment on what you guys want to see next or what you want me to review, and I'll consider it. Thanks, guys.
Fill my heart with song. Let me sing.